Hello, welcome back to the woods. And now for something completely different. Everywhere we see trends, different things that one person sees somebody else doing or wearing, and suddenly other people want to follow it. And that's even true in the world of bushcraft. We went from wearing army surplus stuff to now wearing quite designer Swedish stuff. We went from wearing swan dry woolen shirts to now we're going for handmade woolen shirts, and there's quite a trend for this sort of thing. One of the ones that I've closely followed over the years is one for different types of footwear. Once upon a time you wore one, maybe two pairs of boots, one that did you most of the year round, the other one was perhaps something you would wear in the warm weather. Now things are slightly different. There's also a trend for slightly more exotic boots, so boots from far-flung places, in particular places like Africa, so the rogue boots in particular, where they do the desert boot and the ranger boot, etc. And there's also been a trend for barefoot footwear with a zero drop, so no heel on it, a completely flat boot. And there have been quite a few of those that have come out over the years. Most notably, probably at the moment, is the Vivo barefoot range. And I've got a pair. I've had a couple of pairs of theirs. I had one of their hiking boots. It was very good. Didn't last me very long, I have to say. But what we're going to look at in this video is how you can have a go at making your own zero drop warm weather boots. Now, my YouTube family, I know that you are a very, very keen-eyed bunch, and that you watch not only everything I do, but everything that I use, and quite often everything I wear. And you will know that if you've watched this channel for a while, that come the warmer weather, that I usually, if I'm off to the woods, still chuck a smock or one of these on, a pair of shorts, and on my feet usually a set of these. And all these is an old set of Roma's desert boots. Now this particular set I think I've had about 4 or 5 years, and this is probably the 3rd or 4th set of these that I've had. I've been using them for years. They're great. They're very, very comfortable. They're usually pretty well made and put together. They don't cost a whole lot of money. They never have. I don't think they ever will. They do a couple of different versions. These ones have got the little D-rings on the front, which make lacing them up really, really quick and easy. They've also got this grippy commando type sole, which is a hard plastic. They're a very lightweight suede, and inside they are a cambrel like substance. They can be a bit hard on your feet. Inside mine I have one set of issue mesh insoles, and I find they're great. They allow the air to circulate underneath my feet, and they give me that little bit of extra comfort. And as I said, these are my go-to footwear for the hot weather. And these ones have been very, very well used over the last 4 or 5 years. So much so, actually, that the sole is starting to give up. So what I thought I'd do is, and I've never done this before, but I thought I'd give it a go. Can't be that difficult, and I thought I'd share it with you, is I would replace the sole on these with a zero drop sole. So all I'm going to do is take this sole off and put a flat sole on. Now this situation has been helped somewhat because this particular pair, I don't know why, although the overall quality of the manufacturer is very, very good, ever since I've owned them, the soles have wanted to come adrift. And as you can see, it's not that difficult a job removing them. And this is what I'm going to replace it with. This is a sheet of soling material I got off Amazon, and I'll put a link to exactly where I got it in the description box down below. Now there are a few other bits and pieces that you are going to need for this project. Number one, a sharp craft Stanley type knife, and also plenty of spare blades. Some of these little clamps, spring clamps, Probably about half a dozen of these should do. You're also going to want some contact adhesive. Again, got this from Amazon. The link will be in the description box down below. And then two last things. One, a chalk pen, and then also one of these little true form or true shape planes, just for smoothing things down afterwards and for roughing. And finally, you're going to want one of these cutting mats as well. So your first job's going to be to completely remove the old sole. So there is our boot, and there is the sole. A little bit of care in taking it off so that you don't cut any of the stitching that runs around the edge there. You want to make sure that that is all still intact. The sole came off relatively easily, and this surface is fairly rough, but I'm going to rough it up a little bit more. But not just yet. The next thing I need to do is take my boot and my soling and then mark out my new soles, and for that I'm going to use my chalk pen. So there they are, all marked out, ready to go. Now I'm a size 9 and my feet just about fit in there, and this is a 30cm long piece. For the next bit, I'm going to be working on my cutting mat, and I'm going to be using my Stanley knife with a brand new blade in, because this stuff is very tough to cut. So here are the two soles all cut out and good to go. What I need to do next is glue this to this, but I need to do a bit of preparation first, and for that I'm going to need this. This has got a very rough edge on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to rough up the inside of the sole and also the underside of the boot. That way the contact adhesive can get in really well. So let's get on with that next. So with both sides roughed up and ready to go, I'm now going to apply my contact adhesive. Now, this was very favourably reviewed on Amazon. Apparently it's very, very good. The only thing is, I think it's in Polish, and I don't think there are any instructions. If there are, even with my glasses on, the print is so small on the back, I couldn't read it. However, I looked into this, and apparently you evenly coat both the shoe and the sole, leave for 15 to 20 minutes before pushing the two together and clamping it in place. So that is what's next. So these have now had 20 minutes, and I'm now going to glue one to the other. I don't want to get this wrong, so I'm going to pop my glasses on. And then what I'm going to do next with those on is I'm going to put some clamps to hold it in place. So with one done, going to crack on do the other one, and then I'm just going to leave them for 24 hours just to be on the safe side that they've fully set. And so I left them overnight, and there they are, new soles all applied. And all I need to do now is, well, just trim this edge off very, very carefully all the way around, being careful not to nick any of the stitching that runs along that side there. But that shouldn't take long, so that's my next job. And there it is, all trimmed up and almost ready to go. The last little bit that I'm going to do, well, if you look at a cobbler working, when they finish, they then go onto a sanding wheel and they sand all the way around. I haven't got that. Instead, I'm going to use this. I'm going to very gently go around the edges just to round off and merge those two edges together, the edge of the actual sole against this little midsole layer and the leather itself. Again, being careful not to go too close to that stitching that holds it all together. One of the reasons these are such a favourite boot for the warm weather is they are so comfortable you don't even need a pair of socks in them. They are that good and that comfy. These really are a good pair of little boots. And as well as these being super comfy, they're also super lightweight. The actual sole of the old boot weighs about as much as the whole of the entire new boot. So you get something that's super comfy and super lightweight. So there you go, the finished article. Completely flat, zero drop, warm weather boots. They're superbly comfortable. As I said, you don't even need a set of socks in these. They are so comfortable. And the best thing about them is they didn't cost the earth to do. Mostly because these probably, under normal circumstances, would have been thrown out. However, even if you wanted to do this from new, from scratch, if you went out and bought a set of these and perhaps thought, well, I don't want to wait to make them zero drop. I don't want to spend 2 years wearing the soles out. Even then, this isn't an expensive project to do. You can pick these up for about 30 quid over on Amazon. The soling material, I think, again, from Amazon, I paid £12–13. Certainly wasn't any more. The contact adhesive, that was another £2. So you're looking at about £44. Well, these boots, if you were to go out and buy a set of zero drop bush type boots, would cost you an awful lot more. So it's quite a good project to have a go at. It's not going to cost you a lot and you get something very usable at the end of it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then remember, hit that thumbs up button, like and share, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me over on Instagram and Facebook. You'll find the links down in the description box down below. You'll also find a link to my Patreon page and to my Etsy shop. Now, the Etsy shop at the moment, you guys have completely cleared me out. However, more woven badges are inbound. The leather badges, I'm in the process of marking and putting the holes in. There's also going to be a run of Forester pouches coming out very, very soon as well. If you check out the community tab, which is up in the top there, I'll put a notification up on there, as well as on Instagram and Facebook as to when they'll come up. As always though, bear in mind, my patrons always get first dibs. So if you want to get to the head of the queue, become a patron. I think that is just about everything. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.